So today I'm going to talk about motor mount vibration dampeners. These things, the rubber gets brittle, and the rubber that's supposed to be between these two pieces actually squeezes out in this slot here. And when that happens, when you put these in and torque them, this will close up and you'll get metal on metal contact. At least that's what I found with my bike. I picked up a vibration at 4800 and it got progressively worse right through to the red line. So in order to do this repair, you have to take this old rubber off, and this is actually a cup washer here. And so to get that rubber off, I found the best way to do it was just whittle it off with a box cutter. Right. So when you do that, when you get that rubber off, you'll find that this is what's exposed. Basically, that's the heart and soul of the dampener. Okay, and this diameter here is just a little over 9/16. There's the cup washer I was referring to. Now when you cut all that rubber off, you're going to be left with a pocket of it sitting inside that cup washer. And the easiest way to get that out that I found was to cut a diagonal slot in it with a small X-Acto knife, and then you can peel up one edge, and working with the X-Acto knife you can actually work that piece right out of there, and you can see that it comes out pretty darn good. Okay, so there's the cup washer. So there's your disassembly aspect of it. That'll actually be flipped over. Now, what are we going to do? What you want to do here is just maintain this spacing. And you can see on these motor mounts that there is no squeeze out in this slot here, immediately adjacent to the cup washer. All right. So what I've done is I went and I bought a sheet of roofing felt. And I bought a foot of radiator hose. It's $1 a foot. A sheet of roofing vent material cost, I think it was $10. Now, what I'm using to replace the rubber that you're removing here are stabilizer arm bushings. These don't cost anything, because if you go to your local garage, you'll find a whole bunch of these. As they wear out, they'll be all over the garage floor. So just ask your mechanic to throw them in a box, and you'll come down every once in a while and pick them up. Once they're worn out, they're the exact diameter that you need to fit into the motor mount. Now, some of you guys might not have a garage close at hand, so you may want to just go and buy some new control or stabilizer arm bushings. Now, if you have to do that, this is what you're going to buy. This is from Napa, and it's a kit. There's the serial number on it. And in the kit, you're going to get 8 of these dudes. Now, the object next is to cut a nice hole in these that this can go through. So in order to do that, what I did was I went and I got a piece of threaded pipe, and I cut the threads off one end, stuck it in my grinder, and I just ground this down until I was close to the diameter I wanted. Then I took a Dremel tool and just sharpened the inside. And all I do there is I just stick it under the chuck of my drill press and use the gear on the drill press to drive this down through the rubber, and it makes a real nice clean hole. No muss, no fuss. The other thing I did was I got a piece of 1¼ copper union, and that's what I used to cut the washers out of the roof vent material and radiator hose. just to prove a point here. You can see that that fits in that cup washer. All right, and that's the name of the game. So you want to be cutting with the outside edge. Okay, so once you the next thing is you just cut a little square out of this, stick that over there on the drill press, and punch out those washers. So once you have the washers done, and I just should show you here something here. When you're trying to drive this through, what happens is the rubber tries to distort, and it'll try to shift all around, and it'll screw up the hole. So you just mount that on there. And what I did was I took 1 1/8" Forstner bit. If you're using used bushings, cut a slot in there, and that holds it so I can punch the cutter down through there. And if you have to use new ones, because you don't know a mechanic, then I used 1 1/4" and Forstner again, put a slot in that, and then I can just run that down over to the drill press and punch out some more. So once you get all that done, all right, you're going to be left with this. So the first thing, and I found through trial and error, is you take 2 of the roof vent washers that you've cut, and you slip those on first. Then you grab one of your washers that you made out of the radiator hose, and then you slip that on. Then you take your cup washer, you put that over. Now the cool thing about these is you can see that it's just slightly conical shaped there. And when you slip this on, it goes down, and that cone actually recenters that cup washer. Now the other thing I should talk about is these flutes. Here you go. You see the original has flutes on it. The purpose of the flutes, I would think, would be one thing, would be to reduce the friction for ease of insertion into the motor mount. But the second thing it does, I think, that as the motor rocks back and forth, that these are allowed to compress slightly, and would suck up some of the vibration. So I thought it important to put the flutes back in. So all I did was, again, took my X-Acto knife and cut little wedges out of it until I got it to the depth that I wanted. The depth, I guess, would be up to any, whoever. But you can see that I'm just right about at the curvature of the, well, there's a flat surface there, so I go down to about the depth of that. So then it's just strictly a matter of slipping these bushings over your dampener sleeve, pushing them down nice and tight, and then put the fluted ones on. And well, both of them would be fluted by the time you do it. And then just stick it in and torque her down. Now, the reason I chose 2 of the roofing vent washers was, I don't know if you can see this well enough. There. Shit, is that worse? Anyway, here, you can see that they're fairly flexible. And as you get to about 40 pounds when you're torquing this back in, you can actually see that there's some squeeze out with that washer. And it squeezes out, and then it folds over the outside of the dampener. And it also squeezes out and the second one squeezes out and folds over the inside of the cup washer. So there's absolutely no way there's any metal on metal vibration anymore. And I took this one out for a ride, and at about 8,000, I started to get like a small frequency vibration, but that's mainly from the cam chain. So I mean, it's way better than what it was at 4,800 RPM. So that's a quick fix. The other thing I should mention is that when you pull the upper motor mount off, the motor tends to sag a little bit. It's just the weight of the motor on the rubber dampeners, and it only drops a millimeter or two, but it's enough to make getting that upper bolt a bitch to get in. So what I did was just I mounted the bike up on a piece of wood on top of my bike jack, and jacked it up one notch, and it took all the stress off that lower motor mount, and so I was able to feed the upper bolt, through pretty easily. So just food for thought. I suppose we all have our own methods, but that's the way I did it.